being like a Jewish kid from Northern California who does not like camping, I absolutely love the jungle. And I just thought there couldn't be anything to me more terrifying and primal than a woman who's completely out of her element. And she's in the jungle in the middle of a tormenta. The storms in Mexico, as you know, can dump a meter of rain in a day. I mean, it's a whole other level of a storm. Being pursued by a very bad man who also happens to be a survivalist. So I love telling these stories about every man, in this case, and every woman, Eve Hardaway, who are just up against odds that seem insurmountable. So here she is, she's the single mother, she's a nurse from Calabasas, recently divorced, and she goes up to this little eco lodge in Oaxaca and slowly comes to realize that she has to do things she never imagined she'd have to do to get out of this symbolic and literal wilderness if she ever wants to see her son again. I always want to give the reader a front row seat to the action, and if I haven't done it myself, I don't know all those specifics. So I was down there, I nearly stepped on giant snakes. I went through whitewater rafting runs, class 4, really dangerous runs through the jungle. I hiked through ruins. I came upon the sweeper ants, where there's 1 million of them in a band, and you have to jump over them because they eat everything in their way, every living, every cricket, every worm, every mite, and they just march through the jungle like this. I went horseback riding on the beach, through the jungles. I learned how to make mezcal. I drank a lot of mezcal. And so a lot of it for me is I have to get down there and really see and know that environment, because that's what I want to bring to life. You know those indoor rock climbing walls with the handholds? I tend to think about it as, like, I have key scenes. Like early on, I know that there's going to be this scene I can grab hold of, and there's a toe hold that's going to be this, and a big reversal that's here. And there's enough of those big scenes that I can sort of see my path across the wall. The wall, the narrative as it unfolds. I don't know exactly what order. I don't know which hand I'm going to grab what with and what needs to switch around. But I need to know enough of the grouping of these different scenes to get me through. The stories that have occurred to me are very unique. They're very contained. And one of the advantages of a standalone is there tends to be more research. I have to reestablish a person, where they live, their relationships. I have to do a lot of research about what the setting is. It's often a new city, a new area. But one of the advantages is you can pick someone up wherever you want, and you can leave them off wherever you want. There's no consideration for that. Nurses are tough and smart and see a lot and deal with a lot. And that was a very useful backdrop. I also mentioned, though it's not any sort of focal point of the book, that she used to be quite an aggressive soccer player and athlete. She just lost track of who she was. And she's finding that step by step as all of these challenges are thrown at her. And there's so many times she thinks she just can't do it. And I love those stories.